Hey guys, welcome to the Shut Up and Do It podcast, the place you can come hang out with us while we go through all things real estate with a focus on bringing you top quality guests and speakers, all who believe in a get it done manner. I'm your host, Nick Allerard, creator of the Complete Deal Flow System and a local single-family, multifamily buyer and investor out of the greater Boston market. Today, we have an awesome guest on here, another person that I tricked into our little podcast here in the Boston area. Most of you already know this man, even if you don't know him by name. This is David Lecko. He is the small-time creator of a little machine that you might have heard of called Deal Machine. But we're super happy to have him on today as he shares his story and how he got to where he is today. David, thank you so much for being on the show, man.
Wait. This is a podcast? You tricked me. You told me this was a testimonial. I'm just kidding. Thanks.
We'll take a testimonial too. A Real Estate Group is like the best company in the world. No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. Thanks for your time today, though, man. That's really, really cool.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Awesome, dude. If you don't mind, I know a few people might already know your story, but a lot don't. Share with us, if you don't mind, what even your life up until a certain place that was like real estate's the way to go.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, I always knew I wanted to do, wanted to have financial freedom. And I really didn't know how to do that until I read the Rich Dad, Poor Dad books. And they've got this cash flow game that goes along with that. And you basically use your money from your job to invest in real estate. And eventually you build your passive income up enough so that it exceeds what your living expenses are. So, I kind of spent my whole 20s living with two roommates and saving as much money as possible so that I could invest that cash into something that would grow bigger than what I needed to live on. And so my job at the time was also software developer. And so I was trying to look for a rental property, very first rental property. And basically, I learned about driving for dollars, and I was having trouble following up. So I'd go after work, drive for a bunch of hours, and then I would find properties and write them down. But then I would go home and cook dinner, work out, and go to bed. I didn't follow up because, it was kind of a pain, and I figured I would do it later. And, a few weeks went by, but I got really, really mad at myself whenever I drove by this house that had already been written down on my list, but somebody else had bought it and was renovating it. And so, then I was like, oh shoot, I didn't even do anything. I got this list of addresses here, spent a bunch of time, and they haven't even heard from me yet. So of course somebody else bought it. And so I went home and I looked up all the property owners, and then I printed out mail to them. And it really was time consuming. And that's when I was just like, oh man, I'm not going to be able to do this on my own because I've got to send out mail again in 2-3 weeks, to just keep my follow-ups going. And so that's whenever I decided to build an app. It was originally just for me, but it was going to help me look up the county record and then send out a piece of mail. And so that's kind of in short, that happened over a course of 6 months before I, realized I needed to build this app.
Mm-hmm. That's awesome, dude. That's so Rich Dad Poor Dad. It's funny though, because it wasn't just real estate, right? It was also mighty for you stock price between 0 and 30, and you may buy today for $0.
Yeah, you've played it. Yeah, you've played the game, obviously.
Oh, heck yeah, man.
Yeah.
Well, it's funny because our users our audience has a common theme, right? Obviously, Rich Dad Poor Dad and Kiyosaki was a huge influence on most people that we know. Mm-hmm. And it's incredible what he did with his books, right. That one book.
Yeah. So the stock is if it's for $0 and it trades between 0 and 40, that's a really good time to buy. And then that could generate a lot of cash for you. But then you could use that to do something that's going to generate more passive income. That's how I played the game, at least. I felt like that's how the game was trying to teach me to do.
Yeah. Incredible though. Why? So I guess you just answered that question. I was going to say, because we usually like to try to get down to why real estate, because some people can go off and make money.
Yeah.
They can go make out money with alpacas. I had an alpaca farm. Did you know that?
You're an alpaca farm?
I had an alpaca farm. Can you
actually do that? No, I'm just kidding. I didn't know that.
That was maybe the first time anyone ever came back with me with I have alpacas too.
Oh yeah, I'm a big alpaca fan. Why alpacas?
Lots of very highly tax advantages to owning specific livestock. And
Really?
I had a whole brochure devoted to it a long time ago, and it was called "Can You Hug Your Stocks?" But
Okay.
real estate's always been my passion since '05, so I've been in a
Yeah.
while. But this isn't about me. This is about you. So let's
I want to know about the alpacas.
another whole podcast, brother. We'll do that. I promise. We'll do a webinar on them, you and me.
All right. I'll do that for sure. I got some land I'm coming into, so need to put something on it. No, I'm just kidding. But yeah. So, I mean, for me in that game, it was just like, all right, you can buy stocks, but that's not going to, the game rewards you for building your passive income, you know? So like the predictable income is what the game was trying to teach me. I felt like, because you get that meter and it's like your expenses are 3,000 a month, your passive income is 200 and you're trying to fill that meter. So you get out of the rat race, you know? So real estate was the thing in the game that really did that for me. And I felt like it made sense that that would be the way it works in real life too. I think you could definitely do it other ways. I think stocks are not the right way to do it for passive income, but it can really help you, I think, preserve wealth, and it can help you, you know, gain wealth, you know. But I wanted something that, you know, I could kind of let sit back and I could control it, you know, like I can't control the stock market. Who knows what that's going to do? But if it's a rental property, you know, I can control the condition of the property. I can control, you know, how much I'm charging for rent, how well it's managed. I felt like more in control. Obviously, not everything is in your control, but I felt like it gave me more control.
1,000% agree. And just on that same topic, right? So we do the same type of talks with people looking to place money in the real estate world. It's like, how much better is it that you can have an asset that's tangible, you can see it, touch it, feel it, you can finance it, right? You can control almost everything, including construction to a point, right? If you open up walls, you don't know what you're going to see, but you have most of construction down. The only thing you really can't control is market, but why control the market when you're just going to rent it and make the cash from it? So 100% with you, man. And hey, worst case scenario, you throw a match and insurance pays out. No, that's not the business model.
editor, take that out. So here's what a lot of folks think though. They're like, the market is not in your control, and they might buy the property to expect appreciation. But I think that's gambling, you know, and I feel like you've got to buy the property correctly so that it does cash flow. And if there is appreciation, it's great. It's icing on the cake, but like I don't ever plan for it, you know, like I don't ever need that to happen in order to make it a good investment.
Mm-hmm. Is most of your portfolio held like near Indy, or are you kind of all over the place?
Yeah. Well, I have 5 houses. I'm just closing on my 6th here in a couple of weeks. And I'm actually going to live in this one. So I'm really excited about that. And, so, I mean, the way I got started was I had this 5-bedroom house that I purchased, and I rented out 4 of the bedrooms to my friends and coworkers. And then I lived in the 5th one. And at the time, I was even trying to convince my girlfriend to come in and move in with me, which is a really good idea. She didn't, because 6 people in one house is too much. And so I had just like quit my job and started working on Deal Machine full time. Wasn't taking any salary from that. So there was no way in heck I could like buy myself another place to live, you know, couldn't get financing with a new business. So then I moved into an apartment because I didn't want to live with 4 or 5 roommates anymore. And so now I'm moving out of that apartment now into a house. So I'm really excited about that.
That's awesome. Very cool.
What was your original question? I went off on a tangent there.
No, that was it. I'm glad we wanted to chat a little bit about your portfolio. It's so interesting to me and to a lot of others that, you know, whether you guys feel like you obviously know you have a very successful operation there, right? So you guys are now known nationally as like the source. And it's just so cool that in reality, like, you did focus. You focused on the software development aspect. You focused on the outsourcing of something that was so time consuming, and you made something that was really one of the biggest, most difficult pieces to start up a wholesaler rehab machine to make it so easy. And yet it's funny, like you still only have 5 units, and people are like expecting you to be like, yeah, I have like 17,000 units like all over the country. But it's like, you just focused, right? Laser focused on this product, and you've done a hell of a job.
Thank you.
That's cool.
Thank you so much. Yeah, it's really been incredible. I'm so thankful for everyone's support, and it's been a huge honor to serve so many people. I would like to get more properties, but I've always, once Deal Machines got to a certain point, I felt like I'm working for everyone on my team, and I'm working for everyone who's using the app. And so I have really made sure that, like, from 9 to 5, I'm focused on that. And I do want to do deals still. And that's the whole reason why I got into it. And I try to restrict myself to doing that kind of after hours, after work. And it has been, it's definitely been hard to do as many, since I'm making sure I'm focusing on Deal Machine. But I think I'll slowly pick back up. And, it's just like the whole reason why I got into it. So I don't necessarily want to stop doing that.
Absolutely.
And I think it's a lot of fun to be using the app myself. That's how I got 3 of my deals of the 5. I want to keep doing that. That's fun.
And you know what? We got ahead of ourselves here. So I'm speaking to you and to our audience as if everyone already knows Deal Machine and what it is. Like, maybe some people, like the last 4 or 6 out there, don't know what it is.
There's still a lot of people who don't know it. Yeah, which is cool.
It is cool. Give us what is Deal Machine, Dave?
Okay.
Let's talk about it. Yeah.
Yeah. So Deal Machine is an app that can tell you exactly who owns a property. So if you could be driving along, you see a rundown house and you think, oh, that could be a really great deal potentially. So you pull up Deal Machine and you click on the house on the map. It tells you who owns it. And then you can actually send out a mail campaign from your phone to that owner. And it says, I want to buy your house. You can change up the postcard, and you can send out different postcards and repeat the mail. And basically all that's done for you, including the follow-ups, in like 10 seconds. So if you're trying to, scale up driving for dollars, you can do that very quickly without, worrying if you're going to follow through. And if you've got a team, or if you don't have time to drive for dollars, we've got a lot of tools to help you scale a team that's driving out there. Things like route tracking can track where all your team has been to make sure they don't double over the same street, and stuff like that.
Yeah, it's incredible. So for those of you listening, Dave Lecko, founder of Deal Machine, and what he just mentioned is, when you're starting out as a wholesaler rehabber, some of you might have come across these exact same challenges where there's really no easy way to pull the data. You go out, you find like 4 houses, you go back home, you have to open up a laptop and you have to pull up all the public records. Sometimes you can't find the public record of the actual address. You have to go skip trace them, or you can't find a phone number you want to try to call them. You then have to set up your templates of your postcards and do either a mail merge or manually write out your letters and fold them, stuff them, put them in an envelope, put the stamp on them, put the return address, make sure you handwrite it or else you're going to throw it in the trash. And they finally get mailed out, a week and a half later. By the time all of the new wholesalers go through that whole process, which is still nothing wrong with it. It's a good way to start if people don't have any resources, right? Mm-hmm. But people who are using tools like this have immediately already gone in there and made first contact with that seller. And that's, I think, the biggest, huge advantage you can have in this business.
Yeah. And a pretty unique thing that I didn't mention is our mail, it features a photo of the house. So you or your person who's driving can actually snap a photo and put it in the app, and then that'll show up on the front and back of your mail. So it's going to be a unique piece of mail that the owner's getting. And a lot of times they'll call me and say, hey, I got a stack of postcards over here, but I called you because you guys look like you put a lot of time into this. So I wanted to work with you first. And then a little spoiler, we've got a new mail piece that's actually written with a ballpoint pen that's coming out that we'll write for you very soon.
That's awesome. You can't, so it's completely undetectable machine versus handwritten. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, it's crazy. It's written by a machine that holds a pen. Have you seen those machines?
I've heard of them. Yeah. We're not using them.
It's incredible. Yeah, I mean, we don't own them, but we're going to be working with a company who does that. They're incredible. They're just so cool to watch. It's like you can't look away. You're like, how is that writing so fast? And it's just using the pen like a human would, but like 10x the speed.
Yeah, really, really cool. Kind of like how Roombas were built to save everybody time and money from vacuuming your floor. But I just like stare at it the whole time, fascinated by it bumping into things and turning around and same type of
That's
thing.
right. For sure.
Tell me about your I might get this wrong. Your high school your college roommates. College roommates or high school roommates?
Yeah. Well,
Well,
I mean,
that was supposed to be that was a terrible, funny segue into the beginnings of Deal Machine.
absolutely. Yeah. So, I started Deal Machine. I brought on my friend Dave, and he owns the business with me too. And we were high school friends, and we worked on a lot of projects together in high school. Like, if the English teacher was like, "You guys need to write a paper on Hamlet," the Shakespeare play, we would convince her that we should make a video instead. So like our group would like produce like a whole video, and then we would turn that in as our project. And of course, like they would love it. We probably learned more about Hamlet than trying to like, bust out a 10-page paper or something that's super mind for me. Like I don't really love writing like that, but we had a blast, making a video. So we've worked on a lot of projects like that. And we've got another friend who came on after Dave. His name's Josh. So that's who you met. And so he is a minor partner, and he is also friends from high school. So it's awesome that, he was included in those projects. We've always been interested in business. So like after college, we got hooked up with like a couple startup companies. They worked for this agency that grew from like, they were the first 5 employees and it's now 70 employees. And then like me and Dave started this other thing called Chapter Builder, which is actually this tool that's used for recruitment by fraternities, by over half the fraternities across the country now. And so like those were just some of our, how our school projects kind of transitioned into doing like other things. And I don't know what else I was supposed to tell you about that, but we love.
No, that's cool. You guys literally had tons of synergies there between the 3 of you guys. That's awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
I see it with Fired Up Productions LLC, right, for Chapter Builder?
Yeah, so they bought we built that tool based on this book that Fired Up wrote. So Fired Up, they actually teach fraternities and sororities how to recruit, and they have this whole system. It's great, and it helped me grow my chapter when I was in college.
That's awesome.
And it's more than just like, hey, bro, here's a beer, and then we'll get you drunk, and then we'll give you a bid card. Like it was more based on like values and like getting people that like cared about being involved on campus and recruiting them in like a professional way that they learned from like the Girl Scouts, the Army, like, people with actual recruiting processes. And so we built this CRM that kind of like followed along their process. And then we ended up selling it to them. And then I worked for them for 4 or 5 years. And so learned a lot just by taking that job, and like really learning how to grow a business, not just like build a tool. And so I'll stop there, but that was kind of more about Chapter Builder if you wanted to know.
Yeah, cool.
More
It's just a full-fledged entrepreneur here, right? Did you and your 2 friends have any growing pains or learning experiences as you kind of morphed into these different business opportunities?
Well, I mean, we spent like 6+ months, working on the Chapter Builder technology, and we sold it for like $10,000. So like that was like, that's nothing, it's no money at all. And then, I worked for them. I took like a 25% pay cut from the job I was doing, to work for them for 4 years. So, and I feel like I would never go back and change that, because the real value was getting to work for a really great entrepreneur and learning from them, because I was the only other person in their business. You know what I mean? So like, I think it was just like being humble and being excited about doing that, because early on I was just like, the real value is going to be like what I learned. And I had no idea what I was going to learn, but I feel like that was so crucial. And Dave did the same thing, like when they were working at that agency, it was a startup, so they were probably working for as little as possible and still being able to pay their bills. But like they learned so much. And I feel like that was like the real thing that we gained, not money.
Yeah, nice. Very, very cool. Did you guys, as you went through, I know a lot of people in real estate itself, maybe not development or software, but in real estate, right? A lot of us go through growing pains when we have different minds at work doing the same or even delineated things, right? And have you guys just, flawlessly the entire time, or is there any learning experiences you guys can come from that?
So the biggest growing pain we had was, we didn't take on any investments. We worked for a year and a half before taking any salary, and we didn't hire anyone until we had more than enough money to cover their salary. That way, if we had a down month or a down quarter, they weren't going to have to lose their jobs. Like we had enough saved up to be able to sustain our entire team, and we still run our business this way. But I think we probably waited too long to hire some staff, and our business suffered for it. And a really good example of that is one second, I'm letting somebody in my apartment. Okay. So a really good example of that was we were doing all hands support. So it was me, my partner who was a developer, and then 2 other software developers doing our customer support. And so we have an amazing team, but it was just like, we should have learned, especially like a software developer who needs long blocks of uninterrupted time to build something complicated, that having them do support was bad for their productivity. Like we were trying to like stay small, but it was bad. It was interrupting them. It was getting out of their flow, which is like a thing, a work, like a productivity thing. And then also because they were just coming out of like this developer coding hole. Like I developed too, so I get this. Like when you're looking at the language and stuff, like jumping out and having a conversation with a person doesn't keep you in the mindset of like being the friendliest, or like you're so involved in this. So we waited too long to hire support staff, I think. But when we did, it really, really made a huge impact, not only in the time we can respond, but like they're just totally focused on people all the time. And it's not like a nuisance of like, oh, I've got to go do this support. It's like, I'm totally focused on support, being proactive, and I'm here to help you. You're not bothering me at all. So having dedicated support staff was probably something we waited too long to do, but we saw just like huge response positively when we did. So I would say that was it.
That's awesome. That's really cool. And even in real estate businesses now, right? So it's so interesting because I'm relating what you're saying from the development software side to the real estate side, where, we have massive projects, right? We're trying to make, now when a scaled business is trying to just really work on the team and try to, motivate the team and make them more efficient and effective and productive as a team. But it's funny because the moment, like let's say, we have a property management business now, but there's only like 1 employee, and therefore that person can't be out prospecting or trying to work on a brochure, because then the moment a tenant calls in, the flow is gone. They get angry when they shouldn't be getting angry. That's their job, right? Is service. But right. I get it. I mean, that's so interesting to me that just that small act of investing in another team member could change 3 different ways in the plus side for you guys.
Yeah, you get a lot of benefits that they may not be apparent.
Yeah. Oh, very, very cool. What does Deal Machine look like today? Like, do you have different roles set out?
Yeah. Anybody that we hire, I really, really try hard to make sure they've got a very specific responsibility. And then if there's other things we need done, but we don't have time for a full-time person, that's what I do. Like I do everything that we don't have time for a full-time person to do. And then we've got 3 software developers. We've got 2 full-time support people. We have a customer success manager, which is a new type of position for software companies. And they're, instead of reactive answering questions that come in, they're proactive in designing the onboarding experience and monitoring all the accounts, sending messages to help people get, unstuck at the right times. So they're very proactive focus. And then we've got Josh, who's our basically dedicated person for our enterprise teams. So, it's his job to like prospect and help bring people into the enterprise plan. And it's also his job. He's like their dedicated person that they can talk to on the phone when they're on the enterprise plan. And he does all their trainings and trains their teams and everything like that. So that's his focus. And then we just got a media person, and we're so excited to have him on the team. But he's going to help us like just continue to tell our story, feature our members when they're successful, and help us create a lot of content.
No, awesome. That's great stuff. Do you have any new projects that you're super excited about or that you're willing to share?
We got tons. So the ballpoint letter postcards are one. We've got a brand new like whole analytics dashboard, which is going to be badass. I'm excited because you can actually see the dollars that you've spent on Deal Machine, and you can input when you get deals. So it's going to be calculating your ROI in real time, and so you can see it on some great graphs. We've got some badges. So you might have seen like some technologies will kind of like make it a game to use the technology. But I'm really excited about that for us. So that's built too. So that'll be coming out. And then we're going to do some like bulk uploading. So a lot of people will be like, I've got a list of vacant properties. I want to drive around and see where those are at. So we're going to do some stuff like that so that, on the Deal Machine map, you can see where the vacants are. You can upload maybe some other properties you're mailing to with your direct mail campaigns. And like we want to show like where the opportunity zones are on the map. And that's just a little sneak peek. But we also get a lot of these ideas from our users. And so we've actually got a web URL that people can vote and submit ideas that you can always check out, or somebody can check out. It's actually dealmachine.featureupvote.com. So that's like the list of like stuff that people have submitted and they vote on. So like we build the top ones.
That's awesome. That's real cool. So users are guiding the ship there a little bit. That's awesome.
Absolutely. Yep.
That's really, really cool. What was that website again?
It's dealmachine.featureupvote.com.
Cool. We'll make sure we put that into the show notes too when we're all set here. So that's good. All right, Dave, we've got a couple random questions too that we like to throw at some people and that you were not prepared for, and that's totally okay.
That makes it better.
The first one would be, and you can't pick a book. We've done too many people pick books. I appreciate this. The question is, what is the best investment you've made in the last 12 months that was under $100? Could be gadget, gizmo, app, anything, or something emotional.
Well, I got this ring light here. I'm not using it though, so I kind of feel bad about seeing it. Well, this is $20 on Amazon, and it made us look like we don't have bags under our eyes when we're doing our videos.
I like it. All right, that's cool.
Well, I'm trying to think what else. Let me ask a friend here. Phone a friend.
Phone a friend.
Under 100.
What's the best thing we bought for under $100? Or it could be even like a book, I guess, or something emotional. Yeah. This is Elise, our customer success manager.
Elise, it is awesome to meet you again. For the users, for the hundreds of thousands of subscribers that we have. That's Elise.
Hello, everyone. Under $100. David got us these really good.
Ooh, that's a really good one. Yeah, tell them about that.
So
can you come here?
Not prepared for this. These are called Evo books, and it's a really cool company that you take a quiz of like how all of us like operate differently. I'm more of a creative. David's more of an analytic. And they have you take this quiz. So David had us take this, and I was an alchemist on their thing. So what they do is they customize these planners to work with your mindset and how you work best.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, some pages you haven't used yet. It's a really, really cool planner.
So they have two different sections. So you have a weekly review, which shows like your weekly plan. You capture your to-dos. There's like charitable things. It's set up how your mind and how you function best. Mm-hmm. And then also for your daily one, which I love, it really helps me because I'm very ADD with everything. So like I have to be stuck on a task and know how much time I want to spend on it. So what I love, favorite thing about it is it has a section for your gratitudes in the morning. Super important. It has your wellness activity. What fun activity are you going to do for the day? It's really hard because I find myself like, what fun activity do I want to do today? And it's really hard to come up with. And I never realized that. Mm-hmm. And then what I love is the today's priority is like the most important, and then your other tasks, and you put a time limit on it.
Nice.
So you really hold yourself accountable in this. And it honestly makes me like do my gratitudes, which I sometimes forget to do. And then you evaluate yourself at the end of the day, and you can like, there's a code down here that you can like input it in the app so you keep track of what you're doing. It's a really long explanation of what under $100.
I love it though. No, talk about that's really, really cool. Did you get those for the whole team? Is it?
No, I just got it for me and Elise here in Indiana.
Cool.
But I might want to do it for the whole team. I think that might be fun.
We were testing it out.
We tested it out and we didn't go beyond that yet, but we love it.
That's very cool. No, great share, man. That's a great share. How about a morning routine, Dave? Do you have a morning routine?
Yes. So I get up at 6:30 and then I go work out at 7, and then I cook eggs and hash browns at 7:45, and then I drive to the office at 8:30. So every Monday through Wednesday, that's what I do right now. Thursday and Friday, I don't work out. But I still, it's like, I don't know, that little bit of routine definitely helps me out.
For sure. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Do you, in your journal too, do you do any sort of gratitude exercises or meditation or like that?
I don't meditate. Elise, I do my gratifications whenever Elise asks me, and that really helps me out. And I would definitely benefit to do those a little bit more. But I'll just be transparent with you. I don't do it every day.
Yeah, no, that's exactly. And I am really tough with it too, but routine's so important for me specifically, right? Like if I wake up but don't have my routine, Tim Ferriss, I do a lot with Tim Ferriss, right? Like at least I learn from him, and he's a huge routine guy, right? So I'm with you, and I don't do the gratuity every day, and I should.
Yeah.
So
it really helps. It makes me feel great. It's so easy to get caught up in things that aren't going right or don't seem like they're going right. But then, you can be like, well, if Deal Machine went away tomorrow, I would still be very glad and thankful for like the journey, the experiences. Like I'm in a better place because of that. And when I think about it that way, then I stop getting like so stressed out about something that might not be going the exact way I want to,
That's huge. Absolutely. Do you have another huge benchmark for Deal Machine that you're looking to get to?
Well, I think 10,000 active subscribers is the next thing that we really want to get to. And so we're at about 8,100 now.
Nice.
We started the year under 2,000.
What was that?
We started the year under 2,000.
You started this year under 2,000?
Yeah.
Whoa, really?
Yeah, every month it's been like 20% growth. So it's a lot of new growth for us.
Wow, good for you guys. Oh, wow. And the support's holding up. So you're
Yeah, I just went through a hiring process to add some additional support just because we're at the point that it's going to help them be more relaxed and refreshed if they're not like at 100 miles per hour, answering all the questions so fast to get to everybody. So
yeah, for sure.
Oh,
that's awesome.
To reinvest.
Very, very, very cool. Well, is there how do you want people to get a hold of you? Is there any place, do you want them to link with you on social media or how can
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm D Lecco on Instagram. We've also got a Deal Machine community Facebook group. So if you search that, you can join our group. And those are probably the two best ways. And dealmachine.com is where you sign up. But we've got like a little chat thing there that I wanted to say and encourage people to use if they have questions about Deal Machine, because that's what our team answers like so fast. Gotcha.
And I think actually our audience, right? There's a special little perk, I think, guys. We've worked with Dave and Elise to try to get them get you guys like the best deal we possibly can get. So just to kind of recap, and since we have Dave on here, correct me if I'm wrong, right? You can spend, if you're a wholesaler and you have absolutely no resources, there's nothing wrong with using Google Sheets and drafting the letters yourself and sending them all out and doing your drive-bys. But listen, if you guys even have remotely a little bit of money you want to reinvest into this business, this is the first thing that's going to free you up for, at least when I started, this app would have freed me up minimum 10 to 15 hours a week doing my mailings, my prospecting, my data organization, my skip trace, my managing people. And it takes all of those steps and puts it into one little app for, a very minimal monthly investment. And I highly recommend it. We're huge fans of it. And if you guys want to go to our link, that's part of our viewers, right? You can go to aarementor.com/deal machine. That's aarementor.com/deal machine. And Dave and Elise will hook you guys up with the best deal they've got. And still play with the chats. You can still play with the chats on there, right? So.
Definitely still play with the chats. Definitely go to that link. Hope the video editor can put it on the screen. That would be really cool. And then you're going to get $40 of credits, like $40 of free postcards and stuff if you guys use that link.
Yeah, nice work, man. And we appreciate that. Thank you for the hookup on that.
You're welcome.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Man, it's been awesome having you on, Dave, and thank you for sharing your story and your blast off to success here. I had no idea that was just in 7 months you had such massive growth. I thought you guys had been around for a little bit longer, which is great. You guys are killing it.
Yeah, things are going very well, and we're just really focused and excited about serving everybody and making everybody get more deals. That's what it's all about.
That's awesome. Well, thanks for your time today. Hey, guys, if you're watching, this is the Shut Up and Do It podcast with Nick Allerud. Guest is David Lecko with Deal Machine. Like and subscribe down below to always get notified when we launch new podcasts. And be sure to like our Facebook group, AA Real Estate Mentor, turning your hobby into a business. Dave, thanks for your time today, my man.
Thank you so much.
Cool. We'll see you in a bit. Do a repeat in 8 months when you're at 12,000.
Oh my gosh. Deal.
Thanks, brother.
All right, you too.